Hello folks, Jim here with the Twin Home Experts. Today we're going to answer the question, how do I install a single handle shower valve? Well, today we're at a job site where a customer shower valve, existing shower valve has failed. It seems as though it's been discontinued. None of the parts stores can find the cartridges and stems. So we're going to go ahead and show you how to install a Moen Posi-Temp copper to copper shower valve. And remind you, if you are going to take on this task, it's definitely for an advanced DIY type person. There's a lot of preparation that's involved. So let's go ahead and take you to the first step. Now that we've got the water shut down and the system completely drained, now it's time to start removing the old fixtures. All right, now that you've removed the existing trim, a good way to know where to cut behind the wall, the drywall, so you're not affecting the tile, is to use a drill bit. You've got to make sure you put your hand inside and make sure there's no electrical or other piping that you could be penetrating with the drill bit. So let's go ahead and show you that step. Now that we've got the center here, see my hole where the drill bit came through? We want to open up about a 12-inch by 12-inch area. And a good way to make a clean cut is you go up, use a straight board, and pencil it out like this. Now that you made your outline, next thing is to use a drywall knife or a razor knife to make the cutout. So part of the preparation here, folks, is you want to make sure you get a good drop cloth because there's going to be a little bit of dust. You want something to protect the floors. So a moving blanket is actually a really good way to protect that. As far as the tools, you're going to need some great hand tools. Very important, tubing cutter for copper, spray bottle, water bottle. Very, very important when you're soldering inside the wall. This is a great way to inhibit any type of fire between the drywall and the studs. Towels, sandcloth, Phillips screwdriver. Just get like a 6-in-1 because it may vary between Phillips and a standard. A couple pairs of channel locks, tape measure, solder, MAP gas, flux, and then folks, safety is always important. As you can see, I'm wearing some gloves to protect my hands and then some eyeglasses as well, just to protect from any solder, dust, anything going inside the eye. So now we're going to go ahead and take you to the next step. All right, folks, with a single control valve like this, Moen makes it, and most valves do make it now, with this port being for if you had a tub and shower combination. In this case, we have a shower only. So it's really important, for the purpose of this video, I went ahead and soldered a 1/2-inch cap to a 1/2-inch piece of copper. And we're going to go ahead and solder now. See where the up is? That's the shower head. And then we're going to put the cap on this side here. All right? So very important when you're soldering is to make sure that the outside diameter of the pipe is super clean. You don't want any debris or anything. So a good open mesh sandcloth is the key to that. And then a good 1/2-inch brush for copper to clean it is superb for fittings and for brass. So we're going to go ahead and clean all the ports. You want to do it maybe 10-15 times. Give it a good quick inspection, make sure it's nice and shiny, and that determines that you did a good job cleaning. After you've cleaned the fittings with sandcloth, you want to use a flux. Again, you want to clean the outside diameter of the pipe, and you want to wipe the inside part of the valve. Once that's been accomplished, you want to go ahead and insert that. What I always like doing as well, folks, is when you insert a piece of pipe into a fitting or a brass valve, just make a quick turn and push it in. That really makes for a very good tight fit. All right, so now we're going to begin the soldering process. All right, folks, now it's time to solder. I always like taking the solder and making a bend at the end. Just kind of gives you a good way to control the solder around the actual valve. So you take your MAP gas, here's an automatic shut off and on one here. It's a great one. And I always like having a bottle of water. What a good rule of thumb is, you can kind of cool down if you wanted to the valve. Again, we have the stem out, so we're not melting anything. And you want to get a good heat around that brass first. And then you want to hit the copper as well, get that heated up. And you can always test, once the solder starts taking in here, you know that you've got plenty of heat. Make a nice solid bead all the way around. Now, the key to soldering for us, I've done it for 25 years, our father taught us, is you want to take the flux brush here, come a little closer, and we always like to wipe around. A lot of plumbers don't agree with this. Everybody has their different opinions and styles. We always like, after we wait a few seconds, you take a bottle of water and cool it down. Again, some plumbers are going to say, oh, that's not the right technique, but we've been soldering for over 25 years here at Twin Home Experts, and never had any issues. So anyhow, we're going to move on to the next step by installing the valve body inside the wall. Preset some of the valve here, but I'm going to show you kind of a little trick on how to measure between the vertical pipe, in this case would be the hot side. So you want to take your tape measure, and the inside of the valve or pipe, the port stop is right here for the actual 1/2 inch copper pipe. So what you want to do is you want to measure from the end of that to the inside of the vertical pipe. So it'll be from here to here is your point of measurement for your horizontal piece. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get that going. And then part of the process is, once you start soldering, is you want to wet the inside of the wall and make sure that all the insulation is completely out of it, because this here is very flammable and it will burst into flame if it's have any contact with any of the torches. So a good rule of thumb here is get prepared with the spray bottle, and you can wet all the wood studs, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and start making the cuts, and then we'll start the measuring and the soldering process. All right, so now that we have the cartridge, the plastic cartridge and the pin, it's time to come back into the shower stall and install it. Again, keeping it straight, it should just slide right in. Make sure that that O-ring, everything is locked in there. And then this pin here actually goes, it might be better to go back to the other side, but we want to slide that right back into that brass groove, okay? All right, folks, so that pin again snaps in. Make sure that it's all the way below. You should actually see the two prongs there below the bottom of the valve. Just not. All right, folks, now that we've soldered everything in place, as a final touch, you want to wipe all the flux off. Just get the copper really clean from the flux. And one of the things that I wanted to mention, you see the burnt mark here. I did soak it prior to soldering. This is a very close fitting junction here to the wall. One thing you can do as a preventative is put a piece of metal, like a small plate of tin metal back there. They also make a cool gel that is a fire retardant, but in this case I just used a spray bottle. Okay, so again, final wipe down, and then now for the pretty part, it's time to put on the trim inside the shower stall. But what's very important again is to make sure that that pin is all the way down, holding there inside that cartridge there, okay? Now, this is called a stop tube, and you want to make sure that that goes over that pin, because this stop tube holds that pin from the water pressurizing, potentially popping that pin out. The next item is this section right here, and this is the key stop here. So that goes right inside there. All right, folks, and this is what the finished product will look like. You've got the escutcheon. What's really important is to do caulking. Let that dry for about 24 to 48 hours all the way around. There's your stop tube and your handle, and you're good to go. Hopefully this video helped. As always, thanks for watching.